You need to stop getting coffee. You need to sell everything and put every single dime you have into the market. This is one of the biggest misconceptions on the spark to fire goal. That is where you're trying to be financially free, whether you're living out of your brokerage or through some other LLC form of investing. What we need to do is focus on strategic allocation. Rather than trying to give up every single thing that you enjoy in life, let's focus on ways that we can allocate some of that income towards our financial future. Again, financial freedom is the difference between being able to walk into your manager's office and saying, "Hey, I want a raise or else I'm walking," and living paycheck to paycheck. Which side of the spectrum are you on currently? Most people are stuck in that system, the matrix where you have to go to work, wake up, do the same thing over and over every single day, and there's no time for any enjoyment in life. But if you're interested in learning more concepts about financial freedom, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hype the video, leave a like, and comment down below what your idea of financial freedom is. I would love to hear from you. And with that said, my name's Isaiah, and let's jump in. So, my account has grown from $25,000 to just over $100,000 in 2 years. And one of the best ways to help feed the income engine is strategic allocation. And so, this is where, again, people get so sucked into the concepts of, oh, I have to invest every single thing I have. And that's why they get burned out and stop investing. Just like when you go into the fitness world, you need to find what works for you. You can't just give up eating everything you enjoy and hope to stick to a diet. You can't just go every day and do exercises that you dislike. It doesn't work like that. And it's the same concepts in the investing world. You can't just take every dollar you have and put it in the market. You will get burned out. You need to create a sustainable process, a sustainable plan. And that's where strategic allocation of cash comes in. So let's say in the span of a week, you go and get your coffee at Starbucks 5 times. For me, my niche is energy drinks. I don't drink coffee, but Monsters, Ghost Bangs, I'd love a sponsorship. But I drink sometimes up to 3 a day, sometimes. Just energy. I love the taste. It's terrible, I know. So I'm no better. But I do strategically allocate some of this cash periodically. So again, let's go back to our Starbucks analogy. We go there, let's say 4 days a week. Every time we go, it's $10. That's $40. Okay, I don't want us to give up all four of those and invest that money because you will lose in the long term because you're not going to stick to it. And I understand that. We need to take that concept and turn it down to going 3 days a week. So rather than going 4 days a week spending $40, we're going 3 days a week spending $30, and that $10 goes into our financial future. Again, this goes into your brokerage account. You buy something you believe in, or you can invest my favorite way, which is selling options. Always remember, guys, nothing I say should ever be taken as financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube documenting my journey, but I believe selling options is the easiest way to get started into investing. It's as simple as agreeing to buy or sell a stock for a predetermined price. And when you do this, you get paid money. So imagine walking into the store, seeing something you like, and agreeing to buy it for less than it's currently selling for and getting paid to do so. Easy money. That's the way I like to invest. And if those concepts of selling options, as well as a ton of different ways to invest, interest you, make sure you check out my premium general group. It's only $10. I'm going to give a shout out to them later in this video. But with that said, let's keep moving forward. So that $10 is allocated into your fund. So every single week, we are investing $10 more than we originally were because we are strategically allocating. And over the course of a year, that's $520. Over the course of 10 years, that's $5,200. And on top of that, interest, you never know which way the market's going to go. If you're investing for income, if you're investing for growth, whichever avenue interests you, either way, after about 15 years or so, your contributions are going to be outpaced by what your account is producing. And again, in my eyes, that's level 1 of financial freedom. When your account is outpacing your contributions. Level 2 is when your account is covering all of your bills. And level 3 is when it's covering all your bills and you're able to reinvest more to put back into the account. So again, this account generated just over $3,000 in the month of April. I'm expecting and hoping that by the end of May, once I count it out, we've generated around $3,500, which would be awesome. Think about how many hours you have to work to generate $3,500, and then think about all the hours you wouldn't have to work if you had an extra $3,500. If your monthly pay is $4,000 a month and you're making $3,500, well, now you only need to work enough hours to make $500. It's things like that where you need to not focus on the day and we need to focus in the long term. So one of our strategic allocations is reducing our coffee trips from $10 or 4 trips down to 3. And if it's 5, you go down to 4. Again, we are not trying to cut it all out. I do not want you to do that. I do not, because you will give up. We need to build a plan that allows us to be consistent. And it starts with that strategic allocation. And this is why so many people, again, they give up before the snowball effect takes place. That's when your account really starts to grow rapidly. Charlie Munger said 100,000 is the artist. I say it's 25,000. Again, I'll never be a billionaire like him. I don't have that kind of aspiration, but on a smaller scale, that $25,000 then starts producing a few $100s a month, which gets reinvested to grow even faster. On top of if you have a full-time job and you're getting a paycheck, things like that. If you have an LLC, additional income. But we're not focusing on the income on this video today. We're focusing on that strategic allocation. So I have more ways we can strategically allocate, but I want to jump over, give a quick shout out to my Premium Generals group. It's a 1-minute clip. Just please stick around for. Okay, I am here with the best group on YouTube, the Premium Generals, now with over 40 active members. And in this group, I post multiple educational videos on how to sell cash secured puts, how to sell covered calls, how to roll a position, how to do credit spreads, debit spreads, how to do the strangle method, the poor man's covered call, how to turn your portfolio from a hobby into your business plan, as well as others. And I do private portfolio updates. I post those videos multiple times a week, as well as we have a Discord. Anytime I make a trade, anytime I make a purchase, anytime I roll a position, I make sure the Premium Generals group knows first. It's only $10 to join. And then finally, most importantly, you get to be seen in every single video. So if you're interested in learning, joining the educational journey, you might have some fun along the way, you might meet some new people. Check us out. The link is in the description. Would love to have you there. And with that said, guys, let's get back into the video. We are back here, and now let's talk about the second part of strategic allocation. That comes in the form of strategic cleanup. So this is where we open up our credit card app, our bank statements, and I know people don't like doing this, but you need to. You need to. And let's do an ROI on and that's return on the entertainment, not ROI, which is return on investment. We're doing ROE. And what we're looking at here, how many subscription services are we paying for? Let's say 5. And I'm just picking a couple random: Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Amazon Prime, Max, and let's say some sort of cable package. So all in all, you got 5 services there. Where can we evaluate? So let's say, hey, I noticed in this month I watched Netflix 1 time and Hulu 5. Why don't we give it a try for 1 month, cutting that subscription? Now, we can always sign back up. The nice thing about these platforms is it's pretty easy to sign back up. So why don't we try that? Strategic allocation in the form of reevaluation of a fund. So we're investing into Netflix, and I'll be honest, I don't have any streaming services, so I really don't know what Netflix costs, but let's pretend it costs $20 a month. And that $20 now gets allocated into our financial future. We combine that with reducing our Starbucks intake by $10 a week. That's 40. So right there, we strategically allocated $60. We didn't cold turkey. We didn't try to cut every single thing. Rather, we reduced the number of streaming services we have. So strategic allocation, it leads to financial freedom much faster because again, let's say you are investing $5 a day, $25 a week from your paycheck, which is $100 a month, let's say. And now we're investing that 40 and 20. So now we have $160 we are reinvesting into our account every single month. And let's say your account earns you $40. So now you're reinvesting $200 every single month. And that snowball grows so much faster. So accountability is tough, but it has to happen. You have to hold yourself accountable for some of these investments, the things that you are making purchases on. This is why Spark to Fire, it's a goal for everyone. We all want to be financially free. But so many people take some of the concepts and push them to an extreme that they don't need to go to. You do not need to give up every single thing. You need to give up things that you can remain sustainable with. So again, we just gave 2 examples here on how strategic allocation can increase by $60 into your account. I know it's a lot easier than that because most people do have a little bit more money coming in than they realize and a little bit more money going out. I know it doesn't feel like it. Times are tough. Things are more expensive. I don't disagree with you there. But I do know if we actually take a look at our credit card statements and our bank accounts, and some people use Rocket Money. I don't. But because all your information's right there, so you just have to hold yourself accountable. Where can we make cuts? What can we do? Because again, I'm going to say it for the 4th time in this video. I do not want you to cut every single thing. You will fail. Just like the diet world, just like the exercise world, the reading world, learning a new skill. If you try to do every single thing right up front, you will fail because you're going to get burned out. You need to take a step back and do it in steps. Just like you're feeding the income engine small amounts, it adds up over time. You also need to find a way to reduce some of our expenses so that we can strategically allocate more cash into our fund. I promise if you start doing that, do that every day for a year, your mental fortitude will improve dramatically. Because when you build this strength, it strengthens your cognitive focus. You're like, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm going to succeed. I can follow this goal. And if I can follow this goal, I can follow another one. And then I can follow another one. And you start living your life that way where you build these goals that are attainable rather than these moonshots where you're trying to go from A to Z with no plan in between. So I hope that this video helps provide a little bit more insight and motivation into that spark to fire so that, again, we can all be financially free. And with that said, guys, I truly appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. And I do want to get the channel to 5,000 subscribers. I know I can with your help. So if you would, subscribe to the channel. It's free. I'd love to have you. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one.